Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This presentation is for Module 6. Module 6 is a continuation of Module 5 using the same architectural framework, still using Node.js, Express, and MongoDB as our backend database. The difference between 5 and 6, previously we included all the logic for generating a quote to estimate on the front end. So we learned front end in Module 5. Module 6, best practices is to delegate logic to the backend. Let the backend do all the heavy lifting on calculating APIs, get and put and all of that. So that's today's presentation. All right, so we're gonna start trying to cover the requirement as much as possible in this presentation. So we're gonna start with the residential page, what we call the residential of the agent page. We have a landing page and we have to add a table that display the information about the agent as pulled from the MongoDB database, and the information should display the full name, the rating, and and the fee. So let's take a look at that in a moment. So we should have there is, in addition to having the full name, the rating, and the fee, the currency should be formatted accordingly or appropriately, and we have to use color coding for the rating. Green, I believe it was green. Hopefully memory serves. I'm doing this live again. I'm not recording. I'm not editing. It's live recording, so I might not remember all the things. But yes, so the rating, I believe, should be green for 100, blue for plus 90, and purple for the rest. And the table should be sortable by name, first name, regions as well. So let's check that right now. So as you see, the first one coming up is the all regions as the first one. And so let's have the drop down, and now let's search the north region only. Oops, it failed. I'll tell you why it fails. I will show you why. Let's move into this VS Code, and obviously the application is not running. Okay, so let's fire up the application first before we do any testing, otherwise everything is going to fail. So let's do it. All right, so firing up the app, it should register the public routes and should register the agent routes, and should tell the port that is listening on, port 3004, and also is telling us on the screen that is connected to our MongoDB database. So let's go back to our page, and hopefully now we're gonna refresh it, and that's gonna work the way it's supposed to. All right, so let's do the East region first, and you see the East region is pulling up only the East. The same for South, and the color scheme is working per requirement, and you can do it by full name, rating, fees, and regions. Okay, so let's try West, and that's the West region, and everything should be working according to the the requirement. And let's move into our VS Code screen, because everything should be logged, and let's make sure that that's happening. As you can see, as we did the search, right? It's an API call, get an API agent by region East. We have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the agents that were found as well. So everything is being logged on the on the console as well. So let's move on with the next testing. um, let's look at our curl. Let's do the basic testing in curl first. Let's clear the screen first. And again, guys, this is all live. Nothing is I'm not editing, so I might make a lot of mistakes doing this. Okay, so be patient. So let's start with the simple test, right? With our status, and that should tell us that the server is running, and the status is okay, and the environment is development, as you can see. Let's do the error as well, the error route. We can do the error, and that should also say that this is a test error and the error code. Again, these are the easiest one to test. We're going to start from the more simple one to the more complex one. Let's see if we can do now. Let's pull the agent endpoint by full name and the region, and let's do that, and let's use pipe that to JQ to do a pretty print, and that should print all the agents plus the region. Okay, let's do agent by region test next. That should bring all the agents that are in the West region only. And again, we're using JQ to do the pretty print. All right, so as you can see, I added myself in the West region because we didn't have enough agent in that region before. So yes, so we have 3 agents from the West region, and we can change this. We can test another region. So all we have to do is change here in the path to north, and that should pull all people from the north region. Another good thing one thing that I like to mention here is if you look at the payload, right, at the JSON payload, especially on the region, you will see that region start with capital letter, right? But when I path in my curl command, I'm just passing north with lowercase, because in the controller we put a rigid function that will handle whether is you type north with capital, first capital, all capitals, it will pull the data no matter what. All right, so that's an added feature. All right, so let's pull agents, agent by ID, and this one I have a couple of ID that I can use that I remember them. So this one, you can see the agent ID, and that's D Omega, and it's from the east. And let's see if we can pull my own record that we just added. Let's see that ID. We changed that ID to my ID, and hopefully we'll do that, and that will pull my name. Yeah, that's so we did agents by ID, by regions, and all those endpoints are working accordingly. We should do let me see what else we should do. Let's do the building calculations as well. Perhaps that's the next interesting test. We should do, let's add another agent first. I think that's a good one. Let's add an agent. Let's correct the name here, make sure it works. And again, this is all I'm editing this all live, so and the first name, and let's change the email. And let's match it. Okay, let's to make it more, and let's change the rating to 4.9, almost perfect rating, and let's hit enter, and this should add a new agent. Okay, there you go. So the agent's been added, successfully added, and that's the ID. And if we pull that ID, let's pull that ID. Let's see. Oh, agent created successfully. You have the ID there. All right. Okay. So let's move on into the next part, which is the residential building calculations with tiers. Let's start with the residential tier, and then we move on into the other tiers. So this is our residential tier. We're doing residential standard tier, 60 apartment, 10 floor, 2 basement. So as you can see, quote calculated successfully based on the tiers and the percentage and the rates. Let's do the same for a premium. Let's change that to premium and see if we can test all of them. So this should be premium. And again, same building, but premium tier, right? Similar to the first one, but the calculation should be a slightly different because we're going to apply the 15% rate, installation rate, to this one. So the number should be slightly different, even though floors and tiers are the same, right? So let's do the same for I forgot the name, Exilium. I believe it's the Exilium. The next one, let's do that for Exilium and add that one as well. So same residential, all residential, but different tiers, right? Tier Exilium, premium, and the standard one. Okay, so let's do a complex residential scenario where we have probably, let's add 200 apartments, something that is I don't know, complex, big enough. Wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, so that works as well. So let's move into the commercial building. Let's do one for commercial building as well. So let's add the commercial. This is for commercial, 200 parking, 50 companies, 3 basement and 20 floor. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. Yeah, it looks that. Okay, so that's for commercial. And let's do one for industrial. And so that way we cover all the different types, so we can see them working accordingly. All right, that's for the industrial one. And then I have one that I like to like to do it. It's comparing the tiers. It's called business impact, and it's simple. It's a simple script that will compare the different tiers, and it's just having fun with this. Okay, so this will compare the standard, the premium, and the Exilium tier. Okay, so and it will print on the screen. All right, so there you go. So the standard tier, residential building, 100 apartment, 15 floor, 2 basement, everything the same. Number of apartments, number of floors, number of basement. It just changed the tier, right? And look at the price. Different prices, different installation fees. This one seems to be expensive, and all of this should be logged in our console. So let's switch to the console view. Oops, that one. Okay, so let's see if everything is being logged There you go. Okay, let's zoom in. All right, so everything is being logged, all the calculations, all the different calls to the API. Okay, so let's go back to the testing screen, and let's see what else can we test. Let me think about it for a moment. Oh, maybe error handle. Let's try missing tier parameters. Usually should default to standard. Let's see if we can do that one. So this one is a missing tier parameter, should default to the standard one. Yeah, that works as expected. And then the missing or invalid tier. Let's try one that is easier to do. Probably let's come up with a tier that I don't know, doesn't exist, fake one, or doesn't exist in an app. Let's try that. That's an invalid tier. Oop, didn't work. Invalid tier. True calculated residential. Oh, it defaulted to residential. I had to fix the logic. That one didn't work. Again, this is all live. I'm not I'm not editing anything, so I will fix that in a moment. So let's what else can we test? Oh, last but not least, let's stop the app and let's do our testing. Let's change the screen, sorry. I was on the other screen. So last but not least, I like to do, which is part of the requirement as well, the unit testing, where we compare and contrast unit integration and functional testing, and we implemented the Mocha HI testing framework. So let's run that, since this one gave me a little bit of work. So I believe this is npm and I believe test, and should pass, hopefully. If not, I have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, let's do it. Let's hit enter and see what happened. There you go. Ooh, hallelujah, it did work. So as expected, so 11 passing in 9 milliseconds and 0 failure. So as expected, everything works, except for calculate the standard building. But anything else works really well. I'm gonna fix that one in a minute. And thank you very much for watching. It's late, and hopefully you enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. This was a lot of fun. Thank you. Bye.